Yesterday was interesting. I received quite a bit of comments on a video that I did about 2 days ago towards Sober Start, Rick from Sober Start. I had made a video basically out of understanding. I'm trying to be an understanding person, but I also talked directly to Rick and let him know what it was that I felt, how I felt about his most recent video that I had saw. And I didn't have a lot of context when it came to Rick. And I said that in my video. I've only seen a few things of his. So yesterday, I got all kinds of comments. And it was amazing to me how, one person can see one video and have an opinion, whereas, another person can see that same exact video and they get frustrated. They get a little pissed off. And they weren't irritated with my video that I made about Rick. So, according to the comments, right? According to the people in the comments, not from me, they're telling me that Rick from Sober Start is he's a grifter. He takes money from people, says he's going to donate to charity, doesn't do that. I was told that he creates all kinds of alt accounts so that he can troll people, monitor his, comment section or people who are speaking out against him. And I was having a hard time keeping my head wrapped around what these people were telling me. Because it was hard for me to believe that somebody would go and create, 10, 12 different alt accounts just to mock people and harass them and, all kinds of other weird shit. And to be quite honest with you guys, in reading your comments and things like that, I started to actually think, if this was true, right? All of these comments and all these things and all that you guys were saying, alternate accounts, I started thinking, what if the comments and everything that I was getting yesterday was just Rick's alt accounts, And then, I got involved in the comments a bit. Now I knew well enough to know that I didn't have all of the story. I don't know Rick and I don't know these people. I saw a video and it hurt my heart and I wanted to speak directly to Rick. I didn't have no context. So I know well enough that when people who start, sending me information about people, opinions about another person, that there are two sides to a story. Three sides to a story, really, right? But, and so I still had to ask questions though, because they're telling me that this guy said he was going to, donate money that was given to him to charity. Apparently there was some sort of sandwich giveaway type of thing or something like that. And he had told people that he was going to take that money and give it to the homeless and things. Now, I will say that in the comment section, some of these people who are disgruntled with Rick, they did redirect me to another channel. And basically their reasoning was, you've gotten a whole bunch of opinions from us, from people, go check out this other channel. It's basically another channel where they dedicated it to basically mocking Rick. These people are really disgruntled with him, apparently, it seems. And so they've created a whole other channel where they kind of get together and they discuss, you know, Rick, basically. And if I'm not careful, right? If I'm not careful, what my intention was can be turned into something that, into a direction that I had no intention on going. Right. My intention is not to be exposing people. Now, I completely understand how it feels for someone to take advantage of me. I know how it feels to be taken advantage of. I know how it feels to, you know, genuinely express concern for someone and help them. Put your neck out there. Put yourself out there. Put your reputation out there. Put your name on the line. And then to have someone just turn around and basically spit right in your face and make you look like a complete idiot. You'll feel like an idiot, I know that for sure. Helping certain people makes you feel like an idiot. And if we're not careful, you know, especially those of us that are recovering, right? We see someone and they're struggling. And we also can see potential in people. That's one gift that we do have. We can see what someone could be. And we also see ourselves in the person when they're struggling. And so we want to help them. Now, a lot of us know that completely helping a person robs them of growth, right? Stopping them from struggling completely is robbing a person of growth. But we see someone who, even if we think sometimes, you know what, he could make it through this, but he just needs just a little bit more of my help. And Rick's that kind of guy. He comes off like that. You know, you hear the guy talk and you want to care for him, you know. But at the same time, we all recognize patterns. We've been, when you're in recovery, especially, you recognize patterns in other people because you've seen them in yourself. Like when I see you stumbling around your house, Rick, right? I don't mean to go back and talk directly to Rick. When I see a person all drunk and stumbling around their house and talking, you can learn a whole lot about what that person's inner you learn a lot about what they think about themselves just by the things that they focus on. Like you know you're afraid that your liver's going to fail, right? And you got a doctor's appointment in the morning to get results about this liver that you're really concerned that you just ruined. And you're still drinking and you're still drunk. And the context of your conversation is about the 20,000 steps that you need to get in. Instead of why I'm going to quit drinking, what I'm looking forward to about being sober. It shows that, one, it shows how you really see yourself. You're not even concerned about whether or not you live and die. You don't care about yourself. And I know that because if you cared about yourself, obviously the people would say you wouldn't be drinking. This is an irrational disease. It doesn't make sense. So fuck all that. I know that you don't care about yourself by by what you focus on. There's an old saying. Some people don't do well because they major in minor things. They focus on the things that are of less importance. Those 20,000 steps were of less importance in that situation. The more important thing in that situation would have been the self-talk. If the person was going to do 20,000 steps, there's nothing wrong with that. But my concern was what he was focused on during those 20,000 steps. What was his self-talk like? That's what my concern was. I didn't know any of the whole grifting thing, or if he's been a scammer from day one or faking about being an alcoholic. I don't know any of that. I did get caught up in the sensational thumbnails and how he kind of starts things mid-story. You know, it really gets you hooked in. But, another thing that I learned through this little process of yesterday is that people really pay attention to the things that you say online. If you say you're going to be about something, you really ought to be about it because everybody's watching. You know, I learned, and it reminded me to be on purpose, to stay accountable, and also to keep my direction going the right way. My direction is not to expose people. My direction, my hope, my intention is to help people through my stories, through my opinions, and in showing what it looks like after you've quit drinking. And so all I really wanted to convey to Rick and to anybody really who is struggling is just to not give up. It's very likely that if you are really and truly trying, that you are very, very, very close to a breakthrough. Don't give up. Okay? And if you've still got breath in your lungs, it's not too late. If you want to do something, you put your mind to it. You find out how shit works. You get around the right people and you apply it. That's how it works. And it does work. The only thing that's going to stop you is your attitude about the situation. In going back and talking about Rick for just a moment, I listened to him say on his video after that one where he was stumbling around, that he's tried AA and he's tried groups and things like that. He just doesn't like them. They make him feel uncomfortable. And I feel like a lot of people are like that. It doesn't matter what you like. It doesn't matter if it makes you feel uncomfortable. That's what this whole thing is about. Stepping outside of your comfort zone and growing. It's very likely we made people feel uncomfortable and they didn't like being around us when we were drunk. They still had to put up with it. They got through it. Go sit your ass in a meeting. Go sit your ass in a group. Go get around better people. Get around people that are going to make you want to elevate. Get around people that make you uncomfortable, or you feel a little small around them, and grow into that group. And then go take what you learned out into the world. Okay? You guys have a great rest of your day on purpose. God bless you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the subscribers and the views, comments. I'd appreciate if you guys want to hype my videos. But I want you guys to remember something about me, okay? I'm not here to bag on anybody's recovery. That's not what I'm about.